This is the Lucid Air Grand Touring. It is the longest range EV on the market. In its most aerodynamic form, it can go 516 miles per charge. This one, with its rather stylish 21-inch rims, is limited to 469 miles, still over 50 miles further than its nearest competitor, the Tesla Model S long range. So to put this Lucid Air Grand Touring to the test, I am going to go on a very fitting road trip for this car. A grand tour of California. Lucid is very proud of their California heritage. I'm going to start here in Los Angeles and go to Sonoma County, north of San Francisco, a journey that will take me 430 miles. And I won't be taking a direct route. There's one stop I need to make along the way that has to do with this car's interior. You'll find out more later. The car currently has a full charge, but I will need to stop and charge at least once because I don't have access to charging at my destination. In theory, this car would make it on a single charge, but highway driving is the least efficient driving for EVs, so I don't expect it to fully achieve its 460-mile range. But now it's time to head off from Los Angeles. It is 7:22 in the morning and I have about 8 hours of driving ahead of me. Let's hit the road. All right, I am just about to set off. My first stop is 341 miles away, so the Air should get there no problem. I'm going to be driving 75 miles an hour on the interstate. I would normally drive 80, but to preserve this car's range and get a little more out of it, I'm going to go 75. I don't expect to get there with well over 100 miles of range, as I should technically based on the readout of the car right now, because highway driving is so inefficient for EVs, but we should be able to make it there, and then I'll probably charge around that first stop to then make it all the way up to Sonoma County. Highway driving in the Lucid Air is a breeze. It's very quiet in here for being an EV, so you don't have any gas engine noise. So sometimes that means you get a lot more road noise and wind noise, but there's great insulation in this car. It really is a quiet cabin. It's also very good suspension. You get a few bumps through these 21-inch rims. I think a few more than I got in the Lucid Air Pure, which I believe had 20-inch rims, but on the whole, it's a very supple ride. These seats are also really comfortable. I'm currently getting a massage, which is really nice. There are various different massage programs that you can do, and it's such a beautiful cabin in here. I'll talk more about it at our first stop, but I'm just so impressed by the design of this vehicle. I think it is so elegant. Highway driving is where this vehicle is least efficient, and you're going to lose range the fastest. I'm going over a mountain right now, so I'm really losing range fast. I'm at 75% battery. Since we started, I was at 100%, and I've only gone 61 miles, but I'm almost near the summit of this mountain pass, the Grapevine on the 5, for those of you who are familiar. So then I will be descending, where I'll gain back some of this range I lost rapidly, and then it will be very flat on the 5 through the Central Valley. All right, just made it down the Grapevine, and we regained 2% from the summit to the bottom now on the floor of the Central Valley, up to 74%. So hopefully we are done with our rapid range loss. We have 352 miles of expected range. Our destination is 269 miles away. So hopefully those two numbers stay about consistently apart, and we can make it there and charge in our destination, which is our first stop. I am 200 miles into my journey, and the car is reading 39% battery with 185 miles of range left. So we're not going to hit the 400 mile mark for sure. A couple things to note. One, it's a little cold today. It's 53 degrees right now. It got down to 40 while we were going over the Grapevine. EVs operate best in the 60s and 70s, so that does hurt the range a little bit. And I've averaged about 72 miles an hour, I'd say. There was a good 50-mile spurt where I was going 75, but for the most part, I have been going 70. And the other thing to note is I did have to gain a lot of elevation to go over the Grapevine, about 3,000 feet. And then again, as I'm going back from the 5 to the 101, so that definitely hurts range. Going uphill at these speeds is not easy on these EVs, and you do recuperate some of that energy when you're going downhill, but not as much as you lost while going up. A few days ago, I went on a 140-mile road trip in a Ford F-150 Lightning, and what was interesting about that truck was that it got more accurate with its range prediction as we drove. So when we set out, it was giving us its very optimistic, ideal conditions predicted range. But then, as it realized we were going 75 miles an hour and it was 35 degrees out for that that trip, the car started to get more realistic with its range. About the time we were 30 miles in, we had lost a lot of predicted range, but from there on out, it was very accurate. The Lucid Air doesn't do that. When I was at 50% battery, I had gone about 160 miles, and it was still predicting over 200 miles of range left. So it doesn't get more accurate as you drive. A little disappointing. It's still saying I have 183 miles left on 38% when I've only gone 202 miles right now. So I don't think I'm gonna get that much range out. I have 154 miles left until our first stop, so I'm probably gonna have to charge. Just arrived at Electrify America. We didn't quite make it to our first stop. We went 273.8 miles, and we have 19% battery left. So again, it would reach about 320 miles per charge. So not quite as good as Lucid claims, but honestly, in the same situation, I don't know if any EV would have performed as well as this Lucid Air Grand Touring did. This is a 350 kilowatt charger. I'm only getting 88 kilowatts right now. In this charging tab, you can precondition the battery if you're not already charging. I forgot to do that. I meant to do that 20 minutes out, which is what it says to do. So that might be partially why we're getting a slower charging rate, because the battery isn't ready to receive such high quantities of electricity right now, although it is going up to 90 kilowatts. So hopefully it continues to climb as the battery gets warmer and is ready to accept more electricity. Okay, now I'm getting a notification that the charging is limited by the station. So the Lucid is blaming Electrify America. There's another 350 kilowatt station just over there. So I think I'm gonna try that one to see if I get a little faster charging. All right, I am now at a different charger. The Electrify America is just over there. This one's called EV Range Charging Network. Never heard of it, but I am getting 150 kilowatts right now, which is double what I was getting at the Electrify America. This car is capable of 300 kilowatts, but 150 is still better than 88. And this one's way cheaper. I was getting charged 57 cents per kilowatt at the Electrify America, and this one has charged me $1.30 right now, and it's already delivered 3 kilowatt hours. So this one's better all around. All right, after charging, we were delivered 60 kilowatt hours of electricity. We're back up to 380 miles of range and 80%, so pretty good to head on over to our first stop. All right, we're back on the highway now, back on the 101. That charging stop took about 45 minutes, and I did have to switch from the Electrify America to the other fast charger. Fastest charging rate I saw was 160 kilowatts, which isn't as fast as this car can charge, nor than that charger could provide, but it is 60 degrees out, so it's not like ideal temperatures, and I didn't precondition the battery, so that also affects things. But still, I stopped for 45 minutes, regained over 60 kilowatt hours of energy, and even though that's not as fast as it could have been, and definitely longer than you would spend on a gas stop, this car is still so comfortable. And it's honestly nice taking things a little slower. I've noticed that I'm a lot less stressed on this trip because I am driving slower than I would normally drive. I normally drive about 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. Right now I'm only going 5, so everyone else is whizzing past me, and I'm just in my lane, taking my time, twiddling my thumbs, kind of enjoying the scenic California countryside. And at the stop, I was able to eat and stretch my legs, and while I definitely would love to keep on the road, for right now, it's not that bad. I'm now on a little 2-lane country road, and now we can take advantage of something that you wouldn't know about this car just by looking at it. It has 819 horsepower. Woo, this car is fast, and this isn't even the fastest Lucid Air. There's the Sapphire above the Grand Touring, but this isn't even the fastest Lucid Air Grand Touring. If you get the Grand Touring Performance, that has 1,050 horsepower. This one, as I said, just has 819, but it is still so fast. And I think I'm really used to the instant acceleration off the line of EVs, and this car has that as well. But what really shocks me is when you're going 60 miles an hour and you floor it, it is just as jarring and quick as if you are coming off the line. There is so much power in this car. It is so bonkers. And then when you throw it around a corner, it remains so planted and so secure. The steering is so precise, yet it remains comfortable. You don't lose any of the comfort when you move into sprint mode. There's 3 drive modes: smooth, swift, and sprint. And when you move in between the modes, you really don't lose any comfort, and you just gain so much power, and the steering gets a little heavier, and the steering is so good. It's so direct. This car is a joy to drive. We are 30 miles from our stop, where we will then talk about this car's interior because it is quite special before we carry on to Sonoma County. I'll probably charge again because while I do still have, let me switch it to percentage, 69% charge, I'll want more than what that will leave me with if I went to Sonoma County without charging again, because again, I don't have access to good charging up there. So I'll stop and charge one more time in the Bay, and then we'll go up to Sonoma. All interior color combinations in Lucid's lineup are named after locations in California. This particular Lucid Air is fitted with the Santa Cruz interior color combination, so I have come to Santa Cruz, California to take a closer look. Starting in the back, let's take a moment to appreciate the size of this car's interior. I, at 6'2", have so much space behind my ideal driving position, so much knee room, just enough headroom, even with this glass roof, which is absolutely ginormous. There is less footroom in this particular Air Grand Touring than there was in the Air Pure I drove a few months ago, and that's because this Air Grand Touring does have a larger battery pack, 113 kilowatt hours versus 90 kilowatt hours in the Air Pure. And in the Air Pure, they were able to cut out little parts of the floor behind the driver and front passenger seat to give rear passengers more footroom so that your legs were more resting on the cushion instead of up like mine are now. Part of the reason it's so comfortable is because Lucid has cut out the space in the floor where rear passengers' feet go, but it's still super comfortable here, super spacious. And this interior color combination, again, is Santa Cruz, which is why I wanted to come here to Santa Cruz, California, to take a look at this interior color combination under the Santa Cruz light. And it is gorgeous. I love this white leather. It's perforated, absolutely beautiful. And I want to say this is like a gold bronze contrast piping and stitching. Beautiful. You also have this heathered finish on the top of the back of the seats. You also get that underneath in the glove box and on the front door panels. And on the doors in the back, you have contrast black soft touch material and this beautiful light open pore wood trim. If I fold down this center armrest, we get some cup holders that are very small, just like up front, and some more storage. You have 3 level heated seats, an automatic rear shade, and if I open up this cubby, there's a little more storage and 2 USB-C charging ports. And up front, we have these beautiful dark leather seats, which are an amazing contrast to the light leather in the back that have the same contrast piping and stitching. It's absolutely beautiful, this interior. And looking back, it's so cool to see the contrast between the light back seats and the dark front seats. You also get a lot more of this light open pore wood trim, which I love, and this heathered material, and you still get the light colors down below. This is an absolutely beautiful interior. It truly rivals everyone else in the auto industry. I think Volvo has some of the best interiors in the industry, but this one I believe is better. The technology in here is great. It's all very fast to use and easy to use. You do get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Thank you, Lucid. Rivian, please add Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I absolutely love it. This steering wheel is gorgeous and nothing creaks and rattles in here. It's all very well built. I'm very impressed. This lower screen can also hide away with the slide of a finger, but you still get access to the controls you'll need the most, like your temperature, fan speed, and volume. So you never actually need that lower screen down there if you don't want to. Your CarPlay is displayed up here. And you also have some controls that are still touch sensitive, but that you will always have access to on the left side of the screen, which is very nice. And again, these door panels with the heathered Alcantara, which you get more of on the dash. It's just so beautiful in here. And then you have this windshield, which goes all the way up behind your head, and these sun visors, which fold down, that seem to just be floating on this windscreen, and a beautiful rear view mirror, and this thin strip with ambient light running down it. I am just smitten with how this car looks both inside and out. It is so very California. They achieved that aesthetic perfectly, and it's really cool to take a look at this interior in Santa Cruz, after which it's based. So did I go 2 hours out of my way to stop in Santa Cruz just because that's the interior color combination on this Lucid Air? Maybe, but now we're 110 miles away from our destination. I am gonna stop one more time to charge just because I wanna have enough charge to get back to where there's charging and drive around while I am up at my final destination. But let's hit the road one last time. And since we are going to charge one more time, I might as well launch this Lucid Air Grand Touring. So put it in sprint mode, confirm, foot firmly on brake, firmly on accelerator, see the California Bear, launch mode activated, release brake. Hoo-wee! This car is quick, there is no doubt about that. And to think there are 2 even quicker versions of this car is absolutely crazy. And just because I was in the area, here we are at Lucid's headquarters. Just wanted to stop by while driving the Lucid Air Grand Touring. Here we have the Grand Touring underneath the Lucid logo. Very nice. Obviously several Airs in the parking lot, but I really like the look of this Stealth Edition. Haven't seen one in person yet, looks really good. There's another one over here with a maroon paint color and the Stealth Edition that just looks beautiful. Driving through the San Francisco Bay, I think you might be able to see San Francisco in the background. I have gone 151 miles since our last charge. We got up to 380 miles in that process. I've gone 151 miles. I have 172 miles left. So we have lost some range again, but we are going highway speeds. I've been going more like 75 miles an hour this time around instead of 70 miles an hour, which I was the first time because I do plan on stopping again. The stop is in 29 miles, and I'll probably recharge to 80% before heading up to Sonoma. I'm at the Electrify America, and they are all full. That one at the very end is not working, and this guy in the ID4 pulled up right before me, so now I just have to wait for someone to leave. There is an Electrify America closer to where I'm going, but it's only 150. These are all 350, and I have the battery preconditioning, so hopefully we can get a lot out of this charging station. All right, so I decided not to wait, and I came to the 150 kilowatt chargers. I am just plugged in. Have received 2 kilowatts of energy, getting close to the max, 167. Well, that doesn't make sense. I'm getting 167 kilowatts from a 150 kilowatt charger. That's never before seen, folks. Well, hopefully that means I can charge a little faster and get going faster. There was a Chevy Bolt trying to charge from this one just a second ago, and she wasn't able to get it started. We got an ID4 to one side, an ID4 to the other, and on the other side of that, this ID4, there's an EQE SUV who is done charging, and their car is just blocking that charger, still plugged in, but the car is done charging. So please, when you are at a public fast charger, just unplug your car when it's done and move it to a regular parking spot so that other people can use the charger, because these are in high demand. And behind the Electrify America chargers, we can see the last rays of 2023 lighting the earth. Today is New Year's Eve. What a pretty sight. All right, we're back up to 370 miles of range, about 77%. Time to head up to Sonoma. And I have arrived. All right, I am back in Los Angeles. The road trip is over, and it's rather breezy today in LA, so I want to go over some of the statistics of this road trip in the back of the Lucid Air. Much better. All right. On my road trip, I drove 465 miles, which is a little further than I had initially anticipated. I stopped to recharge twice, once from 20 to 80% and once at the very end of my trip from 20 to 80% again. So I used a total of 140% of this battery's capacity, which equates to about 156 kilowatt hours of energy. Taking my miles driven divided by the kilowatt hours of energy I used on this trip, I achieved a 2.96 miles per kilowatt hour rating, which is pretty good for highway driving in an EV. All of this means that this Lucid Air Grand Touring returned 330 miles of highway driving per charge, which is 140 miles less than Lucid claims, but it's still very impressive. Highway driving, again, is the least efficient type of driving for an EV, and I was taking no precautions to extend this car's range and protect this car's range other than driving 5 miles an hour slower than I would normally go. I had the climate controls on. It was a 55-degree day outside. It was 70 in here. I had my massage on. I wasn't trying to tailgate behind a big semi-truck to get their slipstream effect. I was just driving like I normally would have, other than going 5 miles an hour slower, and I still achieved 330 miles, which is really impressive. My question to you guys is whether or not my experience in this Lucid Air Grand Touring, the longest range EV on the market, has proven to you that EVs are ready for road tripping. No matter what, I had an amazing time on my road trip. This car is so comfortable, so luxurious, and so entertaining to drive. There's truly no other vehicle I would want to go on an 8-hour road trip in. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.